Hi, welcome to Golden Isles TV. I'm your host, Avery Brooks, and today we are talking with City Manager Regina McDuffie. She is the City Manager for the City of Brunswick, and we are so glad to have her here today. We're going to talk about new projects, new plans for the new year for the City of Brunswick. So stay tuned. It's all coming up next, right here on Golden Isles TV. So welcome back to Golden Isles TV. I'm here with Regina McDuffie. She is City Manager for the City of Brunswick. We're so glad to have you. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning.
Good morning. So there's a lot to get to in the new year. I know there are a lot of projects and new plans and projects for the new year, so that's very exciting. We're going to talk about that. But first, we want to talk about last year, maybe starting with the Christmas lights. I know that was a big deal for City Hall this year, and we actually filmed with Michael Heiser, filmed the Christmas parade, which featured the lights, and you were able to see that on TV for the Christmas parade. So tell me about that.
Well, I was, just really excited to add some things to our Christmas displays this year. I thought City Hall and Old City Hall, they're such majestic buildings that they needed to be highlighted. And we also had the entrance to Gloucester Street off of Highway 17 that we highlighted with the Christmas. And I'm very excited about it because, I'm from Macon, and Macon has done just a tremendous amount of Christmas lighting displays over the last 3 to 4 years. And I was excited to know, I actually got to talk to the guy who spearheaded that project. And as a matter of fact, he is scheduled to come to the Golden Isles to talk about it. But when I spoke to him, I was amazed at how much economic development he said the Christmas lighting had actually spurred for their downtown area. So even though my excitement was initially just because of the visual effects, I was just elated to know that there's a real economic driver in having those displays and having, people come to the area. He said that they had over 250,000 visitors to their Christmas lighting in their downtown area, and there have been tremendous business impacts for it.
Wow. You're right. I felt the same way you did, like, oh, it'll be pretty, it'll add to the Christmas parade or whatever. But who knew that it actually makes a huge economic impact, and that's so important. So this might be a way just to build that every year, just more and more lights and more tourists, and it becomes sort of a tourist attraction, really.
Yeah. And the thing I always tell people is not all about, the actual activity, but it's about people feeling comfortable, getting to know the community, visiting. And, a lot of times people will come here for one purpose and then end up, saying, hey, I may want to start a business, or, hey, I may want to move here, so that may not be the, initial intent when they come to the area, but because of some of the things we do, they can make those decisions. So to me, it's always, everybody is a, potential economic development person, or a potential resident and, person to come and live in our community. So I was surprised and very elated to find out about how much the Christmas lighting had helped their downtown area.
That's excellent. Yeah, we saw that on the parade. You could kind of see that. But yeah, it's really true that people not only come for the lights, but then they can come and then shop, and then they think, hey, this is a great town. Maybe I should start a business or move here. So it's all a trickle down effect, and starting with the lights. So that's a great.
Yeah. So I was really, and the guy from Macon is coming, and I'm going to host a luncheon for him to tell everybody how it happened in Macon, and just kind of get people excited about it, because it is a very big investment, infrastructure, and, for the visual display. So it's something that, we want to get people to understand what that investment, what the potential impact of that investment could be.
Right. Sounds great. Well, anything else you want to touch on from last year before we get to the new year?
Well, we just have a lot of things that are, going on. We are still working to, spend the ARPA funds. We did in December talk to the commissioners about the road improvement projects that we have outlined. And so we'll be doing a lot of, over the next probably 9 months, doing a lot of road improvements in the community. And, even though it's not glamorous, it impacts everybody. And I think people will hopefully notice, that we are working very hard to improve the city roads, because there are a lot of, areas that are out there that need to be repaired. We are also working with the joint water and sewer, because they come in a lot of times, do their repairs, and then it's hard for them to, repair our roads. So we're kind of, hoping to encourage them to do, more repairs. And again, that's one of the things that impacts all of our citizens and people in the community. So we want to, work hard to do that.
Absolutely. Certainly it impacts, it's neat. It's something that's very much needed, but it also impacts the locals as well as tourists. So when people come here, believe it or not, they might notice, oh, wow, the roads are really bad here. Or, hey, they're great. Look at this, so that's a trickle down effect as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So you wanted to, so SPLOST funds, I think we're also on the list of things.
Yeah, we, SPLOST is one of those things that it's an ongoing conversation. Of course, we had the vote last year that failed. And, in every conversation, I think that just about we've had, I've kind of tried to advocate for the SPLOST. And it's important. We got to get the county and St. Simons and the voters understanding of the impact and making sure that they know that this is a critical issue and it impacts everyone. And I think, they talk about fairness in the distribution of it. And hopefully they will understand, why everyone needs to participate, and that it's so important for us as a community, because we're competing with other communities in terms of maintenance and improvements on our infrastructure. And if we don't have the dollars to do that, especially with the number of tourists that we have coming into the community, it impacts us greatly. So we got to get that message out, and we will continue to have conversations about what will be included on the SPLOST and how the city and county can work together to promote it.
Right, absolutely. An ongoing conversation that's so important.
Yeah, and of course, I want to talk about the new administration, and that was one of the things that the new mayor, wants to have some, conversations throughout the community to educate people on the SPLOST.
Yes. The new mayor sounds like you want to talk about him for a minute. And I know we have a new mayor, but maybe not everybody knows that or knows his name or.
Sure. We, of course, on January 5th, we had our first commission meeting, and that included the swearing in of Commissioner Felicia Harris, who was already on the board, new Commissioner Kendra Roll, who is new to the board, and then the new mayor, which, we've had the same mayor here for 8 years, new Mayor Cosby Johnson, who is new to the board as well. So we have some new people, new ideas, hopefully just coming in with a bigger, brighter vision for the city, and, able to work to help promote and just make improvements as needed.
Yes, absolutely. Some fresh ideas, fresh faces, and we're excited about that. And so that really can kick off our conversation about the new year and some of the new projects the city has this year.
Yeah, we just continue to move forward with what we're doing. We will be talking more about our waste collection, which I know, again, some of the things I talk about are not glamorous. And of course, everything can't be glamorous, but waste collection is so important in the community, and we are trying to reestablish our contract with the provider that we have, but we also need to educate the public, because we want the recycling to be more effective. And that's one of the things going forward. We will be educating the public about the recycling program and some changes we are proposing in that area, and just getting people understanding, the cleanliness of this city is so important to everyone, not only for the upkeep of our neighborhoods, but just for, again, for visitors and people coming in to develop projects. They want to be in a clean environment. And, I always notice when I go to a city and it's clean. So I think, other people notice if the city is clean. And we have some corridors coming into the city, that we really want to pay attention to. I think the Martin Luther King Altama corridor, we definitely, is an end to the city that we want to look at. Highway 17 and then 341, all of those areas and major thoroughfares that come into the city. We want to kind of focus on getting those areas clean, and also, making sure the businesses that are not occupied are just looking better and more presentable for the city.
Yes. So obviously first impressions are everything, right? So when you're coming in, you want to, it needs to look great, of course. And then while you're here, you need to be also feeling great about the city and the cleanliness, and it all, once again, a trickle down effect from locals to tourists to new business owners and new residents.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Keep Golden Isles Beautiful. They have done some work over by the Manor House, which I think was very impactful. That area definitely needed some cleanup, and I'm thankful that they've taken that initiative. Also, we have the homeless problem that we're trying to combat here in the community. So we're also trying to support and do some things in that area to curtail the homelessness in downtown, because again, it makes an impact on visitors and residents and people who are visiting the downtown area. As I tell people, homelessness is an issue that obviously it's very, it's high priority, but it's also a very tough issue to combat. I don't know any city that has really mitigated or eliminated homelessness. So it's something that, we hope to take several different approaches and try and look at, how we can promote home ownership, how we can provide low to moderate or affordable homes for people. We have several apartment projects that are developing. We have a couple of tiny home projects, and then we have, the provision of service through the Salvation Army and the Well. So we're looking at all of those areas to see how we can, better manage the homeless population here in the community.
Yes, I think about, as you said, you're looking at everything, and it would be interesting to see whether it's better to do small homes and affordable housing, or whether it's just as important to increase maybe the capability of the Salvation Army and homeless shelters. So I guess what you're saying, it really needs to be a combination across the board of just about everything.
Exactly. And, you can't fix everything with one, thing. You have to put a lot of different things in place in order to help the problem. And that's what we're trying to do.
Sounds good. Yes. What other projects for the new year? I mean, you probably.
Well, we will be going into negotiations with the county on the local option sales tax, which is the loss negotiations. Those will probably start mid-year, but the city is working on them now. And preparing for, those negotiations now. We also will look at the service delivery strategy, which is basically a document that's required by the state, which outlines who is responsible for what services, within a city county government. So we probably won't go to great depths because we won't make a lot of extensive changes, but there will be a couple of things that the city is looking at. Recreation in the city is one, because right now recreation is handled holistically by the county, and the city commissioners and the mayor has stated that they would like to see the recreation solely in the city reestablished. So that's something that we're looking at. And we want to have, community input on what we do going forward. So we will be trying to establish some avenues for community engagement on this issue as well as others.
Right. Yeah, I like the idea of community engagement. It's great to hear from the people what's needed, what's wanted. Um, I was curious if transportation had been brought up again. I know at one point that was a conversation, maybe a bus system or something. I wondered if that was part of recreation or if that's just completely separate.
It's actually a separate issue, but thank you for bringing that up because we did at the end of last year. That was one of the presentations that we had come up to was what, was going to be our implementation of public transit. And I'm very excited to say that we are looking at a very innovative and creative endeavor for our transit. It's not going to be just this fixed bus, fixed route transit system. It's going to be more of an on-demand transit and one that can really, effectively get people from point A to point B. They'll be able to use an app to get the transportation. It'll make it where, it's kind of like, I guess, a modified Uber system that we're looking at, and then maybe a fixed route to the St. Simon's connectivity to help people get, to and from jobs on the island. So it's kind of a combination approach so that we can meet the needs of all of the citizens effectively and not just establish, a route up MLK that doesn't necessarily meet the mark for some of the destinations that need to be made.
Right. It sounds like it's sort of a broad approach, really covering all of your bases in an innovative way. So
yeah, and I think people now are getting acclimated to using apps for things like that, and also where they don't have to have the exchange of actual dollars. They can buy passes, they can go online and or pay right from their phones and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a little bit more more than just a fixed route or an old transportation type system. And then we want to have, nice little buses that are more like vans versus the big, bus that require a lot of maintenance. So there's a lot of innovation that's going into the process that we're putting forth.
yes, it sounds like it. We look forward to hearing more about that in the future.
Yeah, there were some proposals, and we're going to look at, how do we name our bus, I guess, transit system, because I think it's important for people to kind of relate to, or, catchphrases are kind of what people look to and get something that people kind of can rally behind and then hopefully support in their ridership.
Yes, just like MARTA in Atlanta. Everybody knows MARTA in Atlanta. So we'll have to think of something really great for the city of Brunswick.
Yeah, that would be good.
Sounds great. Anything else to talk about today?
Well, I'm just grateful to, be able to have been here for almost 2 years now. I think I'm at the 1.5 year mark. It seems like much longer that I've been in the community, still, learning and just getting to interact in the community. COVID is still out there. We're still battling in terms of our staffing levels and things like that. Having some challenges in our public safety areas. We are short a lot of people right now, and we're working very hard to recruit and retain our employees. So that's one of the things that we, will be focusing in on over the next few months as well. Hoping to keep everybody safe in the community. Even though we don't hear a lot about the COVID numbers as much as we were, in the past, it still is a concern, still is having a impact on our healthcare system. So we want to be mindful of that. We want to encourage people to get their vaccinations and also get the boosters. And even, I guess, I don't know, we may come around to another cycle of vaccinations. So, just continue the fight so that we can mitigate this or eradicate it in our, communities. I think the businesses are recovering or trying to recover, but we need to be still be vigilant in terms of the taking precautions and being safe.
Yes, I'm glad you just covered all of that, because I was going to ask you how the most recent surge with COVID has affected the city, but you pretty much answered that.
Yeah, we've kind of, we had said that we were going to pull back a little bit on the in-person or virtual meetings and, kind of open City Hall up at the first of the year. But because of the surge in COVID, we decided to just keep things still the way they were. So we have, I guess, limited access to the building on one side so that people can come in, mask up, and, interact. And then we also still offer virtual access to most of our meetings.
Right. That's excellent. So check out brunswickga.org, right? And
Yes.
You can find all of that on the City of Brunswick's website. So meetings and different things. So this show will actually air, I think, on the city website as well, the Facebook page, but we'll also have it on TV. So be sure to watch on TV on Comcast Channel 98 or on City of Brunswick website.
Yeah, and I'm thankful to have gone through another hurricane season without great incident.
Yes,
so that's always a plus. Although I haven't had my share of bad weather events, but I'm thankful that we haven't. Glad to be beyond that and have some nice weather looking forward for the next few months.
Yes, we're through hurricane season for now, and we can all relax for a little while until the next hurricane season. And it's nice to have a few years, hopefully many, many years without hurricane activity, so that the city can maybe catch up with some of these infrastructure projects that you've been talking about, drainage and road work and different things. So we'll be ready next time.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that it's an ongoing endeavor for us. And we, will stay very vigilant in addressing the drainage issues. And hopefully the next time that we have a severe weather event, people will see some of the improvements and won't feel, the adverse impacts as much.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is Happy New Year. Thankful to be to another year. Hopefully we will be, moving full steam ahead in the city. We will be working on Mary Ross Park during the year. We will be working on Orange Park to get the splash pad in during the year. Just some really exciting things that are going on here, and just want to continue the momentum that we have to move the city of Brunswick forward.
Absolutely. Do you have a date for the splash pad as far as when that might be complete, or no?
We are hopeful that we will have it up and running before the Memorial Day. So that's kind of my guide. If we get it before then, that would be great. But at least before, that Memorial Day weekend, which, is kind of the kickoff for summer vacation, what have you.
That would be great timing. Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It was great to see you, and Happy New Year. And thank you for kicking us off in the new year on Golden Isles TV.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm grateful to have, your communication and the communication with the community on a monthly basis. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're welcome. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.